Hello and welcome to my channel. I am kind of restarting my YouTube channel. I took some time off to just think like if I really wanted to do this, and that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about today, like the point of my channel, like why I decided to come back onto YouTube and make videos slash podcast, because I will be stripping the audio from this and uploading it to a podcast. So if you want to check that out on Spotify, feel free to do so. But also, I just kind of had this like realization that I was just avoiding kind of like the work that would be needed to do YouTube videos and like post, and just kind of where I'm at with my life right now. I'm in a very busy season. I just started a new job, like I want to say like almost 2 months ago. I'm planning a wedding. Like by the time this video comes out, my wedding will have probably already happened. I will probably be married by the time this video comes out, but also I have a daughter, so I'm like raising a child and all these things. So planning a wedding, having a new job, learning all the ropes, and trying to, be the best mom and fiance that I could be in this season of life. And so I'm having to basically hone in on a lot of things that I have avoided for years. I would say the biggest thing that I kind of avoided for years was just kind of like staying consistent with a creative outlet. I'm not afraid to say, yeah, eventually it'd be cool to like monetize something from this, but that's not ultimately like the big why behind it. Like for me at least, just kind of growing up in this digital age where you see like a lot of people, popping off on TikTok and Instagram and all these things. And what I've learned is that if you are gaining wealth or like money quickly, like it's so easily like dwindles away too. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about that, like wealth gained hastily, like I think it says like dwindles away. I might be wrong. But all that to say is like I needed to get away from just avoiding like the hard thing and just facing the hard thing head on. And I recently like overcame this in my work, because I would say like maybe a week or two ago, it was hard because I moved to a new industry, and it was like, oh my gosh, I know like nothing about this. How am I ever gonna like get good at my job? And then I just kind of, every day kept obviously I have to show up or I don't get paid or will be a bad employee, but just kept showing up, asking questions, going to the people I needed to talk to, and thankfully they were all super helpful. But that's really all it is just doing the thing that you say you're gonna do, you're gonna do. And so as I'm saying that, I feel like now I'm kind of treating my life, I don't want to say like a job, but there's a quote from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life. I haven't read the book, but I've seen the list of them, and I believe the second one is treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. And that's so true, because no one, at the end of the day, like I'm, gonna have a husband, I have my daughter, and they can support me, encourage me, but they can't do everything for me. They can help me in certain ways, but at the end of the day, like it's gonna be me who has to do everything, has to do the things that need to get done. And shifting my mindset from, oh my gosh, this is hard, how am I ever gonna do this, to being grateful. And I know that people talk a lot about gratitude and gratefulness, and so it's kind of like a buzzword right now, but it really is like, if you take the time, think about all the time you complain. Instead of just complaining, just like be grateful and be thankful that you have XYZ, and then go on and do the thing that you need to do. And so I'm looking down at my phone because I have a list of things that I kind of want to talk to. But basically, on that note, like I would spend so much time just complaining, like, and in today's world, I could say I had every right to, like I was a single mom that season of my life is about to end, but basically for like 6 years now, kind of still am, because I'm not married yet, but like, I've had to do a lot of things on my own, figure out a lot of major decisions on my own for my daughter and I, and kind of be the sole income, earner. And I like, there were moments in time where I would just like kind of sit and mope, or not sit, but just kind of like ruminate in my head and mope around all these things that I wanted to do but felt like I couldn't do, and just all these different life circumstances or issues or challenges. And the one thing that stood out to me is just like, you know what? I need to stop complaining and just grow up. And that sounds, maybe like in today's world, I feel like there's so much about mental health and so much about taking care of your peace and things like that. But if you're not able to overcome something like mentally first, then I just feel like you won't be able to overcome a lot of things that like happen in like the physical, like in, like with your body and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, the sun is super bright. I'm like parked and like not whatever. But all that to say is that like I realize like I've been able to overcome a lot of things, but why can I not overcome these other things? And like I've had goals that I've had for years and I haven't been able to reach them yet. And I am 26 right now, so I'm going to be 30 in about 4 years. And so when I turned 25, I kind of thought, what do I want the next 5 years of my life to look like? And from 20 to 25, I was, you know, I was still in college, graduated at 22, started working at 23. So like that's still like a very developmental period of time of your life. I mean, my brain was still developing, right? And so when I hit 25, I was like, all right, I have some goals that I really want to hit. And I know that if I don't dial in or lock in, as they say today, I'm not gonna get there. And I don't want to be 30 and look back at the last 5 years and be like, man, I really could have done that. I really could have made this change. And they say it gets harder to change your habits, your lifestyle as you get older. And so I just keep that in the back of my mind. And like, if I can make little changes here and there and overcome these little challenges in my head, then I'll be fine. Like eventually, if I keep doing the right thing, I'm going to get to where I want to be. And so the first point that I want to like hit is just as if I haven't hit like another 2 or 3 points before, but the time is going to pass anyway. The time is really just going to come and go. So it is the last week of February. I get married the first Saturday of June. I'm giving myself basically 3 months to just record, edit, and keep a backlog because I don't want to stress out about posting stuff like every week and like leading up to my wedding because I'm doing like 5,000 other things. But I thought to myself, you know, these next 3 months are going to pass anyway. Why am I going to wait until then? Why just at least take a step every day towards doing that? And so that's my goal, is like, I need to stop saying like, that is my goal, is every week to carve out time dedicated to this channel, this podcast, and really do what I said I'm going to do. And I reference back to times that I've been able to do things. And when I say me, I am also giving glory to God in that. Just a side note, like I can't do any of the things that I have to do in this life without him, but he gives me the strength. He gives me the wisdom, right? So going back to what I was saying is, in the past, I've been able to lose weight after I had my daughter and like was in school full time and, you know, doing all the things. And so then I gained some weight after I graduated and started working. But then I was like, you know what? If I was able to do it back then, I'll be able to do it again. And kind of taking this like path of like, oh, I might not be able to do it the same way, but I can do it a different way, and maybe in a way that I like and fits my lifestyle better. And so I've made progress. Like over the past, I would say year or so, I've been able to lose like about 4 inches off of my waist. And don't get too excited, I don't have progress pictures and I'm not going to show that on the internet. But my point is that I was like, oh, I was able to do that one time and then I was able to do it again. And I'm pretty sure if I keep doing the same thing or like making little tweaks here and there, I'm going to be able to like feel my best and look the best that I like, you know, that I want to look like or whatever. And most importantly, I'm like gaining trust with myself too. Like I'm finding that the more that I just kind of bite the bullet, as I say, and just get it done, I feel better for it. Like, I'm thinking of, I believe it was yesterday or 2 nights ago, there's some dishes that I had to get done, and usually I'm kind of like, oh, I'll just do it till the end of the night. But no, there was like a little pocket of time between my daughter getting home and then from school, and then us moving on to the next thing we were gonna do. And I was just like, you know what, let me just knock this out. And like, my future self was thankful for it, because I didn't have to wake up to like a pile of dirty dishes in the sink. Sorry, there was a big gas car type thing here. I don't know if he's gonna tell me to move, but I don't think so. Anyways, a quote that I saw from like a TikTok, sounds super lame to say in this day and age, but it's just reality. The magic is in the work you're avoiding. And I did talk about that a little bit at the beginning, but it's so true. I mean, you want to feel like you're productive, you're doing all these things, you're reaching your goals, but when it comes to actually doing the thing, we kind of get stuck and like, oh, this is hard. And then like the moment it gets hard, it's like, oh, well, maybe I wasn't meant to do that. No, like, going through challenges and the mental barriers is part of the journey. And Jordan Peterson also talks a lot about this, is like finding happiness in the journey, not at like the next mountain peak. And it's so true. And so I kept finding myself like stuck in this cycle of like, oh, well, when I enter this season, then I'll be happy. When I get married, then I'll be happy. When my daughter starts school and is out of daycare, then I'll be happy. When I get to this next job, then I'll be happy. And it's like, no, I can choose joy now. I can choose to be thankful for what I have now. Choose to make good use of where I'm at, what I have in front of me, the work that's in front of me now. And in that process, I am in a better mood. I am looking forward to the next, I guess, challenge, you could say. And I know that eventually if I put one foot in front of the other, I'm going to get to where I want to be. And I think that's why a lot of people, I've heard like biographies and testimonies of people who say like, well, when I got to like the top of the mountain, hypothetically speaking, or theoretically, I don't know which one, it was kind of like, this is it. And it's true, because if you keep just chasing this one thing, you're gonna like disregard all the time that it took and the journey that it took, and that steals your joy. And so I want to be someone who's joyful and present in the moment, and that's something that I tend to struggle with. I tend to like look very future ahead, which can be helpful in some things, but also at the same time, it kind of causes me to struggle with enjoying with what's right in front of me and like being present. So I've been working on that, and it's been helpful. Sorry, I'm just like taking my necklace out. Okay. Everything comes to a head, and this is so true. I feel like with conflict, with relationships, with situations, whatever, like everything comes to a head, meaning like even a pimple. That sounds so gross. Why did that come to my head? But it's true. Like, something's got to give eventually. If you're like in a toxic relationship, eventually like you will get your heart broken, or like that person will like sadly maybe do something terrible to you, and like the either way it's going to come to an end, right? That was just a analogy. But with that being said, like I came to a place where I was like, all right, Victoria, are you gonna actually do something about this? Like, you want to have some sort of creative online venture, process, journey, project, whatever I want to call it, but are you gonna actually like sit down and take the time to do it? Or are you just gonna like mope and whine and complain, like, why don't I ever have time to do it? Why does it seem like everyone else is getting to do it and reach their goals and that and whatever? And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And so that's my encouragement to you, is maybe you're the person who's like thought so much about it. Maybe you've even tried things. I've started like 4 podcasts, y'all. I kid you not. So this is gonna be my 5th time around doing but I will say, in those failures, I learned a lot. And so I've come to a place like everything has a head. I don't want to be super micro niched about a topic. I don't want to be someone who just starts an online community for the sake of making money. I don't want to be someone who makes kind of like super deep curated content, because I did do that for a little bit. I just want to be myself and share the things that I've learned and share how I've overcome them and what God has taught me along the way. And there's like some mishaps in there. There's mistakes that I've made. There's things that I've had to walk away from, things that I've had to say no to, and things that I've had to like sacrifice. And so now I'm at a better place, I think, like mentally and emotionally and spiritually, that I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna use what I have, what's in front of me. I'm not gonna try to make this whole big thing or whatever. I'm just gonna do it the best that I can with what I have. And so I know how to start a YouTube channel. I know how to start a podcast. I know how to make an RSS feed. I know how to do thumbnails. I know how to do all these things. But like, what good is it that I know how to do all these things and not put them to use? And so all that to say, just get to work. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is, the last point is, I'm uncomfortable right now, and that's okay, because I refuse to accept the planned path. There's a lot of talk online about like the rat race, and the whole like subject of work in our lives is just so, it's everywhere, because work looks so different than what it used to 20, 30 years ago. Even I would say like 10 years ago, honestly. I'd say like 15, 20. Okay. But a lot of people are saying that you don't have to take the conventional path. You don't have to go to college for 4 years. You don't have to work a corporate job until you're 65 to retire. And I do make my decisions. I decided a while ago that I make my decisions based off a life that I don't want. And however, I had to like kind of mature as an adult, but also realize, well, life happens in seasons, and there's going to be times where I have to make the trade-off. Like, to be completely honest with you, even recently, like in this new job, I'm at the office every single day. When I first started working, that was not the case. I got to work from home probably like 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. And, you know, there was flexibility in that and like all that sort of thing. And so then to have such a drastic change, it made me like uncomfortable. I had to adapt to a new schedule. My daughter had to adapt to a new schedule, this whole thing, right? But now that I'm settled into that, I'm saying, oh, I can do this. And it's funny because it's having like a ripple effect. Like I broke that mental barrier of like, this is not for me, this is not for my life, this is not for my family. And then I went to like, oh wow, so now I have to like change my environment. And now I'm actually like taking steps toward the goals that I want to accomplish. Like, I'm sticking better to my budget. I'm making sure that I wake up in time to work out. I'm making sure that I'm spending intentional time with my family after works, because, you know, commutes and things like that. And a lot of people will tell you, well, like, you should just find the job that best suits you. Well, it's like, the opportunity came for me to earn more and get closer to my financial goals. And that opportunity was not present in hybrid remote work land. I probably could have, but like, honestly, I'm very blessed with the job that I have. Thank God that it's a great company and all that sort. But kind of back to my point is like, being uncomfortable will force you to grow, and that's a good thing. And a lot of people I feel today, from at least like kind of content, that there's content that I consume with like a grain of salt, and then there's kind of content that I'm like, oh yeah, this is like really good and like resonates with me. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, you can take and you know, if you don't fully have to agree with everything someone is saying. But going back to this point of like, being uncomfortable forces you to grow, and that is good for you. It's good for your mind. It's good for you as a person. And it's good to teach, like, if you have a family, it's good to teach your kids. And I just apply that in like all aspects of my life. Like, I feel like I've grown a lot even within the past like month or so. And I'm proud of it, and I'm thankful for it. And so it's kind of coming to the end. I want to kind of recap. Let's see, my bullet points were, to the person who wants to do something creative but is anxious about the work, the time is going to pass anyway. So just go ahead and start with what you have. It doesn't have to be perfect. The magic is in the work you're avoiding. just, again, just start doing something, at least one little thing a day, and it's going to help you. And you're going to be proud, and you're going to start to trust yourself more, and everything comes to a head. Eventually there's give or take in whatever situation you're facing. So you might as well just like bite the bullet, get it done. And I'm uncomfortable right now, and that's okay, because I refuse to accept the planned path. And so while I don't envision myself in being in a corporate career until I'm 65, I do want to make good use of the time that I'm here. And God has a plan. He has everything figured out. And I just know that as long as I'm obedient and faithful in this season, he shows us the way. Because what does Proverbs 3:5-6 say? Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So that's it for the end of this episode. If you want to like this video, please do so. If it helped you, go ahead and share it with someone who you think it also might help. Please subscribe to the podcast and to the YouTube channel. That helps me out a lot. I'm currently at 84 subscribers, so I really want to get to 100 soon. Obviously, I'm kind of saying this in past tense, but like whenever this starts, I start uploading, I really want to get there soon. Just because that's like a little like goal of mine. And then if you want to contribute to my daughter's homeschool tuition, it does not exist yet, but that is a goal that we have, I should say, as a family. My PayPal is in the bottom, so go ahead and do that if you feel free or led to donate. I'm just putting that out there in faith, so no obligation whatsoever. But thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you, and have a great day. Bye.